All right, today we're going to make a Hollandaise sauce. This is a pretty simple one, although a lot of people have a really hard time with this. So all we've got together today is 2 egg yolks. I've got about a cup of melted butter here. It can be clarified or melted. I have to be very careful if I'm using melted because the water's in there and that will thin the sauce out. Salt, cayenne, and lemon juice. That's it. This is the simplified form of a Hollandaise. Traditionally, you have an acidic reduction of white wine vinegar, shallots, and peppercorns. It's reduced down, and then you take that moisture, you add it into the pan, and you whisk that together with your sauce. So I'm going to grab a whisk and I'm going to put to these 2 egg yolks, I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of water in there. What you always want to make sure you're doing whenever you have something hot on the stove is you have a rag. But I'm going to cook this directly over the heat. Now, I've shown you many times on how to make a Hollandaise in class doing it over indirect heat, taking your bowl or pan and going over a water bath, cooking it. So because the egg yolks start to cook at about 150 degrees, this direct heat will scramble the eggs very quickly, so we have to be very, very careful. The water will assist in slowing that process down. It'll help it steam somewhat, and it'll also lighten this up. So this is the it's called the Sabayon method. So we can actually make a dessert sauce out of this, just like this as well. If I wanted to take some white wine and some sugar and put it in here, I could make this a really nice sauce. So what I'm going to do is just whisk this. It'll take about less than 2 minutes. I'm just going to go here, turn my heat down to low to medium, and I just want to manage my heat. I'm going to go off and on the heat like this. You want to have a sloped pan so you get in the corners here. If you have a pot, you're going to do this over a pot. You have to be very careful if the sides go up straight because you can't get in those corners with your whisk. So I'm going back and forth, up and down, back and forth, and then all the way around the edges. And I'm also lifting it up off of the heat so I can manage the temperature. So what I'm looking for is just to triple in volume, lighten in color, and get ribbony in texture. What I don't want are for these eggs to cook. So I have to be very careful when I'm going back and forth like this and keeping sure my temperature is not too hot. So what I'm looking for is the bottom to come through. You can start to see it now. It's lightened in color already a little bit. Now this method will inevitably scramble the eggs a little bit sometimes, and I've already got a little bit of that. So I'm already at my temperature here. That's as far as I need to go there. I'll turn my heat off here, and I'll take my hot oil, butter, and I'll start to drip this in ever so slowly. If my egg yolks are cooked enough, they will absorb that fat. This is much quicker than the method of doing it over the stove. The problem with this is that you do get somewhat of a different texture if you're not very careful. You can see I've got a little bit of graininess in this, and that's from the eggs cooking directly over the heat. Now if I get a little too thick here, I can always take some of my water and add that in, but that's about the texture that I'm looking for. So to this, I'm going to add some salt, pepper, and lemon juice. I've got some squeezed here already. Lemon juice, that's about a teaspoon. Some salt, and then a little cayenne pepper. Of course, prior to serving anything that you ever make, what you want to make sure that you do is you always taste everything once, twice, 3 times. Doesn't matter what it is. Just make sure you're tasting as you're cooking. So evaluate and be sure that what you're doing is what you want.